right, boys. We're back. It looks like the Nerd Chat isn't changing its name after all. Feels good to be home. Am I right, boys? The Nerd Chat, an Xbox podcast,
is a podcast celebrating all things gaming, food, and the good old days.
Hosted by a group of best friends. If you'd like to find out more, visit nerdchatmedia.com.
This is Cortana. And remember, don't make a girl a promise if you know you can't keep it. As always, Spartans, see you online.
Oh, hello. Daddy D. Wally here, coming in hot. Guess what, boys? We're back. You see this DualSense 5 scuff controller? Woo! Won't be needing that shit anymore. Oh my gosh, I have missed this. Oh, look at this beautiful Elite with these perfectly placed back pedals. Oh God, look at this perfect controller, you guys. Returning Xbox fanboy number one, Daddy D. Wally is here and joining me as always, also making his grand return after missing out with our special guest. Oh, he's also holding up his Gen 1 Elite controller. I can't believe that thing still works. Please welcome back Chipotle Bear. Chipotle says he's creeping on the streets of Midgar. Oh gosh, Final Fantasy 7 fanboys right here. Welcome back, Chipo.
Thanks, bud. It is so good to be back. Even though I really missed being on the show with ZenkaiGoose last week. Awesome show. Dude. Super rad dude. Excited to see that guy climb to some heights and be Canada's #1 content creator. But also
wait. B, Jose?
He is. Is.
We had Canada's #1
had
video games content creator on the show. Thank you, Jose.
Anyway, it's been great, man. Excited to talk about video games this week, man. I finally feel like I've been able to play some because of the crazy work life and home life and stuff. But great to be back, man. Excited to talk about some stuff.
Chipotle Bear is also on a 4-day weekend right now. Just loving life.
Nope, I have work tomorrow.
Okay, never mind. I thought you guys had it off. I work tomorrow too. I mean, we're not on the same schedule, so I'm sorry. I apologize. But you will have a 3-day weekend, and he will be gaming. And please welcome back. PC has won the almost. Mr. X Bacon Gaming. How are you?
Oh, if you missed the news, not only is Xbox not ending everything, but Sony's coming day and date to PC across the board. So
that hasn't been.
PC has won the console war. It is over. Sorry, big box. You should build a nasty rig so you can play everything in one location at high frame rates and maxed out graphical settings.
Speaking of big box, Chipotle Bear, let's jump into some Nerd Chat shout outs. Big Nerd Chat shout out, of course, Jose already mentioned him earlier. ZenkaiGoose for coming on the show last week. He also wrote on our page or on our YouTube video. Big thanks again for having me on the pod. Lesson 3, you guys are awesome. And I also wanted to shout out Zenkai has been putting out some banger slanger clips of us on those Instagram stories.
Did you say greater than 3, by the way? That's a heart symbol, bud. It's a heart.
I know. It's
okay.
I know what it is, Jose.
Okay.
And gosh, this boomer over here. Am I right, guys? Anyway, so Zenkai also posted stories. Dude, one of them, you guys, has like 200 shares. We got to get Jose. Not Jose Bacon. I need to promote you to social media manager, and we need to get you managing
I don't even know how to tweet.
The TikToks.
I just know how to reply.
TikTok, exactly. We need to get him in control of TikTok. We got to start growing. You need to start sharing on an Instagram story, even though it's tied to me. But if you could just share me the TikToks that you make, I'm sure we can put them. So that is your new title. Change it right now. X Bacon Gaming, no longer third co-host / social media manager. I said we need to get him on there.
I'm all for a social media manager. That's a great call.
Because I can only handle so much with the Twitter as it is commenting.
I mean, we need to get Pony in here. He can get us all the VHS tapes we need of our content.
Exactly. And speaking, X Bacon just was dogging on him as if, first of all, I got to say, I was concerned. We had not heard from BigBox since the devastating loss against, we don't even need to say, okay, we're just ignoring that anything happened this past weekend. Big Box, I was concerned about you, and it's good to hear back from you. Speaking of Big Box 1431 wrote in just not even a day ago. Nerd Chat, multiplayer needs to go everywhere because it benefits from the larger player base, but big single player games should stay exclusive. Guys, I hear this a lot, but I don't understand the math. Don't expensive AAA single player games benefit from a larger player base as well? Yeah. P.S. D. Wally, I just saw your Twitter. If you ever make it into an NBA game, you're averaging 7 points on 0.498 field goal percentage or efficiency in 11 minutes per game. You're a TJ McConnell if you just put your mind to it and also find a machine. Yes, the console war is over. PlayStation 1, the publisher war is looming. There's a typo there, but I fixed it for you. Big Box, thank you for the kind words. You're right. If I had a time machine, I probably, if I would have actually applied myself more in as much as I do now towards basketball, Big Box, as I did, in middle and high school, I probably could have, been a bench warmer on a D1 team and maybe made it to the NBA combine one time.
Towel guy.
And begged, Coach Malone to put me in just for one quarter, Bacon. That's all I'm asking. Just let me in one quarter. If I hit a bucket, you guys pay me $1 million. But that is not the case. But thank you for
expensive bucket.
Thank you for checking out on. Did you follow me, Big Box, on Twitter or on X? What's going on here? You just a lurker? Anyway, make sure you tune into our old guy basketball streams. One of Bacon's best friends and also a fan of the show, Deja Vu, is there. Deja Vu's been struggling. He's been struggling coming back. He's still trying to get his game back.
Still dealing with the ankle.
Yeah, I was gonna say he probably is still dealing with injuries. It's in his head now. So. Shout out to Deja Vu. And as far as the console war being over in PlayStation 1, I'm going to throw it over to X Bacon Gaming to address Big Box's comments.
Big Box, buddy, pal, friend of the show. It's not over, not by a long shot, buddy. If you haven't been paying attention, Sony is also embracing PC day and date. I would told people to not buy Helldivers if they want to keep all their exclusives. But the PC gamers went out and bought Helldivers in droves. Sony's seeing all the profits. So it's happening. Their CFO or their new head bigwig,
Mr. Hiroki Tatoki,
has already announced that they're embracing cloud. They're embracing multi-platform and PC. So
multi-platform is PC and PlayStation.
Yeah. Well, you never know. Might come to Xbox. And we all thought that Xbox was dead prematurely, to include my my idol and my founder of our podcast, who's throwing Xbox controllers around and throwing his consoles in the trash and getting estimates from GameStop on taking his trades back in, has since come back down to earth. I'm glad I am one of the only ones who didn't freak out in the Xbox community.
I was kidding. Jose didn't freak out, and I was kidding this entire time. The whole running joke. I have a big tweet. But by the way, everyone listening and watching, big tweet tomorrow at around 12 Mountain Standard Time on the Nerd Chat X platform. Make sure and tune into that. Bacon. But I was just kidding around. I
don't know if we noticed that PlayStation has cut their forecast for consoles sold by 4.1 million consoles. The console base is tapped out. It has no more room for growth. All the new room for growth is in the PC sector, like my boy Chapo over there. There he is, joining that PC master race. So the console war is over because
PlayStation 1
are in fact over. So just thought I'd set that there. But what do you think there, Jose?
Interesting thing. So I've listened to some great podcasts this week. Unlocked was great. Loved Luke and Logan on Expansion Pass. Logan had some amazing points. And Logan, for the record, if you hear this, I absolutely loved your conversation with Luke about the PC hardware like licensing, even though Luke's eyes glazed over. I was totally with you, bud, and I absolutely loved it.
But I don't even. But I got to comment on that too, Jose. I don't even think Logan did a good job explaining the GPUs thing. He did say how like they tune it. I think what Logan should have said is imagine somebody else just making their own Xbox, and it's just the same function as a Microsoft Xbox. Like Asus making their own Xbox, like Lenovo making their own Xbox, like HP Omen making their own Xbox. Just that would have been better. But you're right. That was a great conversation where Luke's like, what that
was great though. But here's, I actually fully agree with Bacon. I think Bacon said it perfectly right there. Is so this reminds me of when I was in high school. And remember, we were in high school because we are boomers, right? We're all middle aged, even though Dan doesn't like to admit it. We were in that time when like CD burning was the thing, right? And so like I remember literally like our good boy Jack McAuliffe. I used to burn him CDs like every weekly Jack's Jams. We had like 18 installments of them where he'd give me songs,
the Love Mix.
And I would rip them from like Napster and LimeWire and BearShare and stuff like that. Like that's the era we grew up in. But here's the crazy part: as we got later in our career of high school, that the better technology came out that was mini discs. Do you remember mini discs? They looked like mini CDs.
Better?
It was the better technology. It was higher quality. You could put more music on there. But here's the problem: we had already moved on to MP3s. Right. And so the issue is the same thing here in my mind a little bit. And it's not apples to apples, but like, even if you want to argue that Sony has won the hardware war, which I don't personally believe, but I could see the arguments. I understand it. Okay, so what? You beat the console war, but what if we're not even going to be with consoles anymore? Right. Like not right away. I know they've already said very clearly they're going to keep doing consoles for a while, but that's not forever, man. And like I see, in my humble opinion, they are laying the groundwork for a very substantial future. It's just a different future than we were anticipating. And again, not to just be like, I was a console guy my whole life. I still love consoles, but man, seeing now this PC side that I'm really learning, I see a very, very bright future of things. So BigBox, I hear you, bud. I wouldn't even argue with the PlayStation thing with you, but I wonder if the future is going to be different than we all expected, man. And as always, great to see you, buddy. Truly, hope you're doing well.
BigBox, we need to get them on the show.
Hey, look, there's some people want to ride too. Pick them up.
And we really do need to get
absolutely
Luke and Logan on the show for real. We got to get them back on here. Zenkai would have been here today, but he had some other obligations. M10 also bailed on us. But it's all right.
Good family stuff. It's legit.
It's all good because Jose made it. We're just recording late. So thank you, BigBox. We miss you, brother. Are you going to add us on Xbox so we can play something together? I mean, I think he still has an Xbox. Play some Halo.
Invite him to the Discord, Bacon. Get him in there.
Where are we dropping, boys? Guys, let's jump into good old Xbox news for the week.
News team, assemble!
News. We're still working on that, guys. News story number 1. Xbox isn't dead after all, aka Xbox isn't going third party. Xbox does still, in fact, have exclusives. We titled this episode, or I did, a conversation with Xbox leadership. And that's exactly what happened today at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, released to the world what could have been just this Xbox Wire article as far as I'm concerned. But I have to say, I did appreciate hearing from leadership, hearing from Tina Amini. She did a great job. February 15th, 2024, Xbox's promise to bring more games to more players around the world. This is coming from Jeff Rubenstein, Xbox Wire. Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, and Matt Booty shared the vision on game exclusivity, the future of Xbox hardware, and the overall Xbox promise. There's a lot to talk about, so everybody please go watch this incredible video. But here are the bold bullet points that are summarized at the bottom of this article. It was a great 22-minute video or something like that. Everyone should go watch it. This is what it means to be a part of Xbox. Number 1, the biggest games in the world will be on Xbox. Number 2, our games will come to Game Pass day 1. Number 3, a robust and innovative multi-year hardware roadmap. Number 4, compatibility with your library is a priority, inclusive of cross-play, cross-save, and robust cloud features. And number 5, Xbox will continue to help game creators find the biggest audience possible. Whether you've been with us since 2001 or recently joined Game Pass to enjoy Starfield or Pal World, or looking forward to the next season of Call of Duty, the creative teams at Xbox are stronger together no matter where you play. Xbox will be around for decades to come. We hope you'll join us on this journey. Jose, you have not been here for a while. You've seen the internet freak out, collapse, come back again. You heard us talk. You saw me throw my Xbox controller in a moment of shame last week. I was kidding, guys. I would screw. By the way, big news. I'm selling my PS5. I'm done. I've caught up on my backlog. There is nothing left. Does anybody out there listening want to buy a digital PS5?
I need to buy mine
or trade him
new
for a
hours?
PC. A starter PC.
No. I already have a good starter PC with the 3070, you guys. I have a great PC. Anyway, Jose, what are your overall thoughts on this whole freak out? And then what stood out to you from today's video?
I mean, so to be honest, I have not been able to watch the video. I very much wanted to, but we were hosting a pretty big event at school, and I had conferences, so I've not been able to watch the footage. But I've been keeping up through my wonderful co-hosts and other friends and Discord and stuff like that. My overall view of this was, when all this started, to be very fair, and I don't like to be the person who like never criticizes the things we love. I do think that Xbox, Microsoft, whichever entity, waited too long to get information out. Like when things started to like crumble, there should have been a better thing that was just like, look.
Do you think they could have made this podcast any better though? And then I'm out of time, Jose.
No, the podcast was great. I'm nothing against podcasts. What I'm saying is like when things started to crumble real quick about like all Starfield is going to PlayStation and these and that's what was causing the major freakouts. I think that it would have been. I think I admire that Phil said like, "Hey, we hear you. We have stuff coming for next week." I think that was great, right? I also agree with you. Like people. This all started from rumors. Like, dude, that and like how can you communicate better when you can't control rumors, dude?
Some of those rumors are true, though.
You're right, but a lot of them were not, though, right? And so that's the hard part that you have to be like. It's hard to manage that. Overall, the whole time, and to be fair, I've known Dan a long time, like literally multiple decades. I knew he was just being a total troll the whole time. But like, to be very fair, there were healthy amounts of our nerd chat and then our chat with Bacon where people were like, is Dan like losing it? I'm like, it's just he's being an ass right now. Don't worry about it. But the whole time I was like, look, man, the reality of most of the world truly is that they're big cruise ships in the water. To move a cruise ship takes a lot of time and a lot of concerted effort. It is not something that can just happen overnight in both good and bad ways, right? Like if this whole idea of like, oh my God, they're just going to make everything multi-platform and no more exclusives and it's the end of Xbox. Like, dude, they don't make decisions like that. Like even if Phil wanted to, which
even if that is the case right now,
or Sarah or anybody, even Satya was like, we're going to do this. It would take so long because of licensing and contracts and compensation. Like there's no way that stuff is happening overnight. The reality is people just tend to freak out and we stew on it. And it's kind of like that thing when you're like going to bed and you think about something and all of a sudden now I can't go to bed because I'm just like stewing about these crazy things. That's what was happening. And so like, I was like, I'm not going to worry about this. I'm going to wait for Phil to say whatever he needs to. And the reality is whatever they say, like, I kind of can't argue with because like, what am I going to do other than just accept it and move on? Yeah. I'm not going to freak out about this stuff. And to be fair, I've been in my own world with my PC and all this kind of other stuff. So it's been fine.
Jose's been out of it.
I have, to be fair. But what I will say about from getting to the Xbox Wire, and then I'll pass it off to you guys. I love everything that I see here. I love that they still have the mission of like,
before we break it down, let's break it down, Jose. Before we do that, let's break it down point by point because I do think there's some really interesting stuff that was said during it. I want to shout out Matt Valdez in the chat and Deja Vu. Deja Vu promises he's going to be better on the court. I know you will, Deja Vu. You're always strong in the rebounding and defensive department. Don't worry about it. I know your shot will come back, but that air ball on the free throw, man, that's like me out there. Anyway, Matt Valdez also in the chat. Matt said, give me an official Xbox Elite controller for my PlayStation 5 or send me a shipping label for this 2-foot abomination of a console.
He's absolutely right.
Is in your court, Sonny. Absolutely. Abomination. Hey, Matt, you need another PS5 at your house? Because I'm getting rid of mine and it's going towards my PC fund. I completely agree. And by the way, all these people, remember how excited people were getting, oh, I'll just play it on my PlayStation. It's funny, Bacon, how everyone goes from Xbox has no games. Oh, I'll gladly play Starfield. I'm like, I'll even check out Redfall. I can't wait to play Forza Red.
Get me Pentiment.
So there are good games out there that Xbox does make and create. Okay, that's funny. No games to, I'll take your games and play them. Anyway, hold the discussion. Let's jump into the video like Jose said. I would like to check it out on YouTube right now. I think it has timestamps in it if I remember correctly. And it was funny because as soon as I clicked on it, guys, I was like, I don't want to get this spoiler warning and everything. So I was like trying not to read the comments and trying to not look at the timestamps. Right away, Jose, he breaks it down. Feels like we wanted to talk about Activision Blizzard. We wanted to talk about some things in the future. Let's get right down to it. Exclusivity was the first topic. What stood out to you, Jose? I think it was key, very important. I didn't like how he didn't say the 4 games, even though he kind of did say the 4 games. You know, I respect him being like, we're going to leave it to the teams, but I appreciated, of course, this was scripted. Tina asking, is it Starfield and Indiana Jones? And he's like, no. So what stood out to you guys from the exclusivity conversation that started the show?
Go ahead, Big.
Well, it's kind of along the lines of what I thought it would be. They're not going to send Halo over. They're not going to send Forza over. I mean, they could send Forza over. Forza Horizon would probably do very well on other platforms, but we all know
Forza Horizon would be good on over there.
We know 3 of the 4 games. We know Hi-Fi Rush, we know Sea of Thieves, and most likely Pentiment. What would the 4th game would have been?
Grounded, right?
Grounded.
I assume it's Grounded.
It is. I think they said that it's been around there.
Yeah, based on the type of game that is, Sony needs kids games too, and Sony needs those kind of games,
multiplayer games,
right? And it'd probably do very well on both those consoles. My thought was always about changes coming to Game Pass, because as a PC gamer, of course, I don't care about exclusivity, so I want to make sure Game Pass doesn't change, and Game Pass isn't changing. So I'm happy. I'm also happy that other people get to experience Hi-Fi Rush, because that's a game that everybody should play. That would be an absolute gem on the Switch. So it was kind of along the lines of what I said last week, that I think Bethesda and Activision games most likely will go over there. You can't tell me they're not thinking about porting Starfield over there. They are. They're going to wait another year, till we got our attentions on something else, and then they'll port Starfield over there. I mean, who cares? We've already played the games, and it's kind of exactly what I expected to come out of this thing, out of this little podcast or whatever they want to call it. So you still have to give a reason for the console to exist. We still have to give a reason for people to subscribe to Game Pass. We still have to give these reasons for these tentpole business strategies that Xbox and Microsoft employ. So this is a good way to do that. I've also heard that Sony doesn't allow Xbox to have their Xbox splash screen when the game loads up. So
what?
It's what I've heard. I've never loaded.
I'm pretty sure there's like a Sony logo on MLB The Show, right? Like there has to be.
I've never loaded an Xbox game onto my PlayStation, so I can't comment on that. But I've heard that Sony does not allow it. Seems like that would be weird. So it's just a way to get more eyeballs on their products, and maybe if the Hi-Fi Rush 2 is announced, that'll force people to buy an Xbox instead of having to wait the year. Who knows? So that's my thoughts on that.
So Jose, before I throw it to you, are we in agreement that I got a shout out? Kind of funny. I listened to their immediate reaction afterwards, and they were saying how it's kind of Phil is basically saying the games are going to be a year old. He did specifically say these games have been out for over a year, at least, that we're contemplating porting over. So is that going to be kind of like the year Xbox exclusive or Xbox PC exclusivity? And then for future titles, we'll just decide and see how it goes. So Bacon thinks that Starfield will potentially move over Indiana Jones after a year, possibly, even though they haven't said that. Jose, do you think that's the case for future games?
I think it's too early to tell, to be honest with you. But I think my own opinion here again is I think that's a good balance, right? Like as much as I am honestly moving very rapidly towards the Bacon camp of like, I don't understand why things need to be exclusive anymore. Reality. I think that we're still actually further out than that than people think, because there's a historical aspect of this that is prevalent very significantly even to today. I think that is where most companies, including Sony, Nintendo, I still don't know, but I think Sony is going to move there eventually. Just because I think Bacon is absolutely right. He's made this point, and many other podcasters and pundits have as well, is that there's only so long you can hold out when you see the absurd amounts of money that are being made by these choices, right? Like I think it would be very hard, and I'm making assumptions that Xbox is going to make money, but I do believe that's going to happen. But I think it'd be very hard to argue with your shareholders, well, we don't want to do that. We don't like money. Right? Like, you know what I'm saying? We care about exclusivity. I think that's an uphill battle that they're basically doomed to lose. And I think that we're already seeing that with some of the stuff. Bacon, I forgot who you sent the executive that you sent us the screenshot of earlier yesterday. They were like, it's happening. It's Totoki that you sent it, that he basically said, like, we're already looking at multi-platform, specifically PC, not like Xbox. But I think they're already laying that groundwork. And I think that I just think that's the reality. Back to your point of the 1 year, I just think that's fair. Like, the reality is, how many games do I truly play after a year? Very rarely, unless they're multiplayer. So the truth is, like,
but Jose, after 6 months, 95% of Starfield's player base is gone. The game is dead and a failure, right, Jose?
No, absolutely not. Pony, you got that? I mean, I think it's let people play. And this goes to what BigBox asked in the question. We actually didn't answer his question of like, all of this benefits developers, all of it benefits platforms. Like, it doesn't have to be just the AA's or the indies or multiplayers. Anybody benefits from getting these to as many people as they can, not just because they make the money. Yes, that's wonderful, but also because they get to share their art, man. So like, I do think this is where all things are going. I think that it's going to be hard to crack this like historical biased platform-based rivalry that's existed, but I think the walls are crumbling, dude. I think we're at like Berlin Wall type stage. It's just early.
I do want to touch up on what Bacon said about first party, because that was my biggest concern. Like, are we still going to get Xbox first party games day one on Game Pass? And Matt Booty, I was just re-listening, said all first party games will be coming to the Xbox platform. He said Xbox platform, whatever the heck that means. And then he says, second, all of our games will go into Game Pass day one. Okay.
Starting with Diablo in March.
Okay.
Did he say that, or did you?
And then he said
March 28th.
And then he says, and third, Game Pass will only be available on Xbox. So Game Pass apparently is not going to be on any other platform besides Xbox and PC. Bacon, am I understanding that correctly?
And cloud and
cloud,
Samsung TVs and just everywhere but PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Nintendo.
So that was a big deal to me. Hearing game, well, then I will continue to be a Game Pass subscriber, because I was thinking myself, if they take away that, then why am I Game Pass subscriber at that point? Like, it just wouldn't interest me. The third party stuff isn't enough. I'm mostly a Game Pass subscriber for the first party, so I can try these games. Like, I would have been mad to have paid full price for Forza and then dump it, as quickly. I mean, I still have it on there and I'm still racing occasionally, but that would have been a disappointment to me. Or Redfall, so I enjoy playing these games when they come out. And then I think of third party as like the additive random additions and gems, like Lies of P I've had a blast with, had fun with Remnant, but that's kind of like falling off on me. But there are lots of games that I wouldn't have never played without Game Pass. So that will keep me a subscriber. And like Baking said, the next thing they talked about was Diablo. Activision games are coming to Game Pass, starting with Diablo 4, which will come to Game Pass. This was a big one for Bubble Boy on March 20th because he's one of
Has
his
he been
birthday.
waiting?
He waited. He's
waited. Good for him.
And his birthday's the 30th too, so
Yeah,
it's 2 days before his birthday.
Perfect for him. Perfect. I mean, Snelling. I don't think Snelling has it. I think Snelling would probably dig playing that. Maybe we can get like. There's still people who will play it. I mean, besides in our fur chat, millions, obviously. And then the next part was where were we? First party. It says, why isn't this a change in Xbox strategy? But then they go into, and this is where I thought it was interesting. How is multi-platform availability good for business, and how does Xbox want to keep up with the industry? And I'm pretty sure this is where Phil said, 2023 was like one of the best years in gaming ever, but at the same time, we had layoffs. The industry had significant layoffs, and the console. I don't know. Did he say something about the console business or something? Or not, I can't remember exactly, but he was basically saying like, as an industry, we are still struggling. So we need to figure a way to ensure that Xbox, and not only Xbox, it kind of like sounded like he was saying just gaming in general. I believe he did say this continues to grow. And so, Bacon, what did you think about, Phil's comments there about the tough year for gaming and the potential for growth?
It's clearly a tough year for gaming with all the layoffs. I mean, the layoffs on every publisher, almost every studio. Sony's had layoffs. I haven't heard of anything from Nintendo, but Nintendo's their own little area. It has been a tough year in gaming, and this very well could be another tough year. So Xbox is smart. We all always know that Xbox has always been out in front of every new trend, everything, DRM, TV, everything. They're just always so early. I think it's because they have the financial backing that they can be early on all this stuff. So I'm really excited. That was just like you, Dan. When I was sitting there thinking, would Game Pass still be for me if we lost day and date?
Yeah.
It would not be for me if we lost day and date. I mean, I
agreed.
buy so many games on PC that I could live without it. I don't ever want to live without Game Pass. Like I'm playing Brotato right now. Why? Because I can, and it's kind of good actually.
Except for those 1 and 3 point achievements.
They're so bad. But
and those.
My big fear about what was going on was that they never tried to see Game Pass growth and all that with Call of Duty in Game Pass.
Oh yeah, I forgot the dice.
Right. I was worried about, they saw how much money it made the first release, standalone, everybody buying it. And I thought maybe there was a chance that the investors would be like, oh, no, you're selling that game a la carte and a la carte only. They're continuing their promise to us as Game Pass subscribers that our games will continue to be day and date in its service. So that is what I love to hear. So let's see what this does for the growth of Game Pass, which they announced today is 34 million. A lot of people are trying to say that's with Game Pass Core. I really don't think that's with Game Pass
that's
Core.
Definitely not with Game
Xbox
Pass
Live
Core.
had 80 million people in it. So I'm pretty sure there's 34 million paying Game Pass subscribers, which is a pretty good number, either $10 or $15 or $18 a month. So Game Pass is going to grow. It is going to get big. So that's the part of this presentation I wanted to focus on, and the whole reason why I watched it, because again, exclusivity is stupid. So that's my thoughts, gentlemen.
Gotta get the chat in here. Matt Valdez said, I agree, fellas. Continuing with day and date into Game Pass is the assurance I was looking for.
Yep.
Also hyped to hear about the new hardware plans in this fall/winter. Absolutely, Matt. I'm super pumped to hear what they're talking about. Handheld? console, both. Deja Vu says it's season 3. LOL. It's man. Yeah, he says that, but he's been grinding away.
He's been playing nonstop.
Exactly. And shout out to Captain Logan. I've got you in the DICE Awards going on both monitors. Shout out to Captain Logan. We were also Jose.
He also bought a 4080 and is rocking it.
He really did get to.
He wasn't scared. He installed it.
I did. Bacon. I installed mine. Everybody, I installed my 4080. I have an incompatible motherboard. I have an incompatible power supply because it's proprietary HP Omen. It didn't work. Okay, I had to return it. All right, but anyway, we wanted to shout out Logan about about how he's explaining to Luke, who had no idea what's going on about GPUs and all that, about licensing Xbox hardware. Bacon, I never really asked you that. Why doesn't Xbox do that? Why don't they let, hey, Asus, HP, Lenovo, why don't you guys make Xbox consoles? You're already making Xbox handhelds, basically.
Well, here's the thing. They take the loss on the console hardware to make it up in software sales. You can't ask Asus to produce
they're going to want software sales.
Produce an affordable Xbox Series X equivalent, but you are not getting software sales.
The other piece is
they have to. Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. The other piece is they're trying to they
want a standard GPUs though.
But they want a standard for production of the game. Like when you have an Xbox Series X that's produced by one manufacturer with a specific spec, then you can build games to that. Now, granted, they're not the most pushed forward games that you have, but it's a finite understanding.
That could still work with the console. Say, hey, your GPU, CPU, or combined APU, whatever the heck it is in there, it all has to be the same, but you can modify, like, I think even Logan said this, you can have more storage or like LEDs or something. It can be something as simple as that modification, not necessarily the basic internals that like have to stay the same. Am I right? Like that's basically what
also Xbox
GPUs
won't
are.
let wireless controllers be wireless controllers from third parties. So,
well, you license that out too. Anyway, I think there's potential there. I mean,
not for the console.
I think why not? I think it would just confuse people. I think it really, I mean, look at, no offense, look at how Luke took it. He was like, what the hell are you talking about? I just want the box from PlayStation or Xbox. Logan said the 4080's been great. I haven't gotten to use it as much as I've wanted because I've been working on reviews on console. Glad you enjoyed the conversation. Actually, I'm reviewing one right now. Shout out to Captain Logan. Everyone go follow him, listen to his podcast, listen to them over at XEP. Jose, we gotta get him.
He's awake.
Hey, look, there's some people want to ride too. Pick them up.
Hey, Logan's awake right now. Clearly,
I know. We know.
Clearly,
yeah, exactly. We don't. Yeah, we don't need. Forget it. We don't need Luke to come back on after how he behaved. Exactly.
Yeah.
Logan, you are welcome to record with us at any time since you are an hour behind us. So absolutely get your butt on the show. Turtle Beach Stealth Ultra is a wireless third-party controller. Correct.
Dude, I want that thing kind of.
I'm pretty sure, and I have. Logan, I have a Scuf Instinct Pro Xbox controller, and it also is wireless. They license, or it starts out Bacon as a traditional Xbox One wireless commercial, and then they modify it. So same with my PlayStation 5 one, even though PlayStation 5 I think uses Bluetooth. Anyway, we're getting off topic. Back to the video. So we talked about Phil's comment and about. He says, what happens when the industry doesn't grow? And so, Jose, I don't know. Did I get your reaction on that yet about the gaming industry slowing or not necessarily growing as much? What did you think about Phil's comments?
I mean, I think, again, this goes back to what I said of like, I think the future just looks different than we anticipate. And I don't think we're losing consoles. I don't think we're losing Xbox. I don't think that like all of that is going away. I think that will remain. But the reality is that most of the people that game today game on their phones. And while that's the future that I don't necessarily want, I still want my consoles or maybe my PC, I guess. The reality is like as a business, remember, we're still beholden to our shareholders and we still have to make money. That's what businesses do, man. Mm-hmm. And so I think the reality is that I think we're going to see more and more of this pushing towards this mobile platform. The other piece of it is phones are just getting better. Like it's, again, when we were younger and like we had the Nokia flip phones and you played Snake on there. Chance loves Snake, bud. But the reality is like we're way past that. We are exponentially generations beyond that, and they will continue to change, dude, especially with hardware and AI and everything like that. Like, it will be within our lifetime, I assure you, that like real competitive gaming will happen on cell phones. I
I mean, it
assure you.
already is kind of in a way, but
Kind of, right? But I'm saying, like, by the time our kids are gaming like truly hardcore where we're at, or where we were in high school and stuff, like, the landscape will just look different. And I think that's where Microsoft is looking, right? It feels weird to say that now because it seems dumb right now, but that's how you make money. Is you don't plan for today, you plan for 2 years from now. And so, you know, I got to give them props on that. Again, it's not necessarily the future that I want, and it's gonna be interesting road to get there. But I think that they have a good team that's working towards that, man.
And I saw a stat today on Twitter that, you know, the PS3 and Xbox 360 and the Xbox One and PS4 generations, the cap of both those.
You saw that too. I think
about
Zenkai,
180 million.
Yeah, Zenkai commented on that. That was
Right.
what's
and
his face?
this generation's tracking to be below that. So
Really?
right. So yeah, you think about
Not
it.
good. That's not good.
We're halfway through this generation. We have less than 70 million total. If every PlayStation that was sold is not sitting in a warehouse or not sitting in a scalper's garage, every console is in someone's hands, and we're at maybe 70. And we're already talking about going to the next gen. So the piece of the pie, the console gamer itself, is shrinking. You'd think with the overpopulation in this world that it would be growing, but it's not. It is shrinking.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's shrinking console. It's growing, like Jose and you are saying, mobile.
PC,
Maybe we should be the Nerd Chat, a mobile gaming podcast. Maybe we're ahead of the game.
Growing in PC, man.
Shout out to Deja Vu Pro Gaming on Apple Visions. People walking around in the virtual world. Speaking of, yeah, you guys were all high on that piece of caca. I hear half of people are considering returning them because it's uncomfortable.
Dude,
and
I would
like,
love to have
why
an
did
Apple
I
Vision
spend
Pro.
I would have one right now.
Dude,
oh my god!
I would watch League
Do you guys hear
Pass.
these Apple simps? Like,
I
oh
would
my
seriously
God.
watch NBA League Pass like a freaking boss on the Apple Vision Pro. Dude,
I'd wear it all day. I don't care.
I would have box scores up. I'd have highlights. I'd have my Jazz game. It would be ridiculous.
All right, guys, I can't see this. B says Bacon can't sell his PS5. That tells you. And B, speaking of B, are you interested in buying a used PS5
just bought
digital?
my
I
Xbox.
guarantee you mine will be way cheaper than Bacon's. Okay, 300 digital,
No.
barely used.
B is
perfect
part of the
condition.
PCMR also.
I have the.
He's just
original
lightly
box.
thrown the controller a couple times. Don't worry
No,
about
the
it.
real controller is up there in that Xbox because I never use it because I have the one with the back buttons on the scuff, which I will keep because I can use that as PC controller. Anyway, boys, the next part of the video was on Xbox hardware, and Sarah Bond and Phil also emphasized that Xbox console will be the premier place for the Xbox experience, and that they have new hardware coming. I don't know if it's hardware coming or new announcements coming this winter. Gentlemen, what do you think it is? Because I heard rumors saying, did she say like the biggest technological leap that we've ever seen in a console generation? So
heard that before, but
are the rumors true that we are starting the generation? Or screw it. All these developers, you can just figure out how to make all these games for the Series S, Series X, and now the Series Z supercomputer console. Or is this a hardware? A handheld. What do we think this hardware is? Bacon, I'll go to you first, then Jose.
I find it hard to believe it's going to be Brooklyn. I don't see a point in releasing a mid-gen refresh. We've discussed this before, that if they get out a year and a half ahead of Sony with a next gen, it would serve them well. I would want to say with Phil's love of the handheld that it would be a handheld. I know one of the guys I listened to was at Gamescom, and he was talking to Jason Ronald and the team at Gamescom, and all the questions they were asking were handheld related, price points and stuff like that. They weren't asking anything console related. So I'd have to assume an Xbox official handheld with even just the Xbox UI on it, instead of having to deal with Windows, to be a little more optimized, kind of limit the functionality, because the ROG Ally saved mine and Jose's butt when we were building his PC.
Yeah, it did, dude. That was dope.
Beast saved our keister, so it was kind of sweet. I love my ROG Ally. Wish the battery life was better. It's an awesome little rig. So something
Can I ask you really quick about that, Bacon, about your ROG Ally? Is 60 FPS possible on anything on the RGL and looking decently, or is it not really an
Oh
option?
yeah, absolutely.
So do you just do it in like 720p or in like upscale, or do you do native
If I'm
1080?
plugged in and getting all 30 watts of TDP, then I'll
Not
try to get.
not plugged in. What's the best
Oh,
you've seen?
I get 60 all the time on it.
And what settings are you getting?
About
Okay,
720.
720. Because I only ask because right now I can get an open box ROG Ally with the Z1 Ultimate chip for $479.
The Extreme
guys.
or just
the
the standard
Z1
Z?
Extreme.
Okay.
Z1 Extreme,
It's a
$479.
good price, dude.
Tempted.
You
I
will
love the Ally.
You will
Tempted.
absolutely love that thing. And the greatest part is all your saves are there from all your launchers. Everything's cross.
Yeah, I
Like-
mean, but or do I just get a good laptop again with an OLED screen? I was thinking about the
What
Lenovo
is wrong
Legion
with you
Slim
guys?
5
God, you change your mind
OLED.
more than anyone I know.
Anyway, guys, let's get back to the video. The last updates here. Let's close off this discussion. They talked about game libraries and preservation, and this interested me, Jose, because my thing is they didn't really directly say it, but they did say about, oh, you can pick up your save here. You know, we've got crossplay. We've said Xbox Play Anywhere. Do we think Xbox's potential future or goal is that if you buy a game, you own it on console and PC? Truly Xbox Play Anywhere, not Game Pass, where I can do that right now. But when I buy games, or think about this, how cool would this be? Everything you own, if you own it on Xbox, you now own the digital license on PC, preserving your license forever. Jose, what do you think about that?
I think it'd be amazing. I would love to see that world. I think I don't know. And the only reason is it's not that I don't think that that's the will. I think they want that. I think that's the dream that even Phil as a gamer and Sarah as a gamer and all the people in the company, of course you would want that, right? That's the dream. But you have to marry the dream with reality, and you have to do things like worry about licensing for games that no longer have like offices anymore, and for companies that have folded, and that's a bigger challenge than it comes to. And the other part of it that you have to keep in mind, and this is the part that I hope they solve, for the record, like I'm fully on board with this, because even as much as I'm really enjoying my PC, I have some games on my Xbox and I'm like, damn, I don't really want to buy them again on my PC. I probably will because I love the game, but like it'd be super dope if it was just like, nope, you got the license, you're good to go. But you have to think about things like physical media. And I know Logan in the chat's over here like, this is the only part that really mattered about the whole thing, was that so what happens if we move to this future where we don't have consoles with drives, right? Like there's a very clear issue of like the disc itself is where the game exists, and that's why they're game preservationists that are like physical media forever kind of thing. And sorry, Logan, I'm not that dude. Like I like my digital space, to be honest with you. I'm perfectly fine with it, but I do respect people that are like that, and I like people that have like dedicated rooms with their whole walls and shelves filled up with games. More props to you, man. That is a mega challenge that I think we have to really think about. And I would love for them to solve it, even if it was janky at first, even if it took time.
That's the
I
thing.
think that'd be cool, man.
Because they got to figure out now. They own BattleNet. They have the Microsoft app and store, I guess, on PC. In addition to the App Store on Microsoft Windows, which is not good. Then they have the Xbox store on console, which is great, and I love it. And like Captain Logan saying, we need more Play Anywhere titles like Sea of Thieves. We need to have a unified legislation that awards consumers the rights to a copy of digital media. Oh, I'm a digital only guy too. I just want my digital purchases to be respected beyond a hardware generation or two. Yeah, what's going to happen to these games?
But that's the beauty of going to the digital, right? Because for our entire life growing up in childhood with the physical media stuff, we went from the NES cartridges to the SNES cartridges to the Genesis cartridges to like
PS1 CDs,
to Dreamcast CDs to GameCube CDs. Like there were so many different forms of this physical media that when we went digital, that was a first unification of the system in a way we've never seen, which is incredible. But then we run into like the legislation and licensing stuff, like Logan just said. But we're closer than we've ever been, man. So if this is something they're working on in the background, Cool. I'm yes. Like
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
on board
amazing.
1,000%.
And then he said also, but emulation is still a dirty work and taboo in the industry.
It's
Bacon,
awesome.
let's get your thoughts on it. But I want to say, Bacon, before I throw it to you quickly, guess how many games I actually own PC, Bacon, as well for my
17.
Play Anywhere.
How many?
I almost own 40 games that are cross.
Days.
Well,
Cool.
some of these are Game Pass, but I've got Cuphead, Celeste, Firewatch, Forza Horizon 3, Forza Motorsport, Gears 4, Generation 0, Gotham Knights,
Generation 0.
Halo Infinite.
First podcast was Generation 0.
Get this. I'm going to be playing Marvel's Avengers. Apparently, I own this on PC too. I bought it for like $2 when it was going out of stock or off or delisted. That's a
I
problem.
got it for free at Epic.
Guardians of Galaxy, Ori, Blind Forest, and Will of the Wisps, Outer Worlds, Phantom Dust. I don't even know what that is or how I claim that. Psychonauts, I own
Gold.
both ways.
Games with gold, probably.
Yeah. Quantum Break, Recore, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 7. Gosh, what a game.
Great game.
Starfield, State of Decay 2, The Long Dark, We Happy Few. I never played that. I bought that, never played it. And What Remains of Edith Finch. So Bacon, is this a possibility or is it just too complicated? Or maybe next generation moving forward?
No, when you think about it, if they are going to a unified platform and maybe getting rid of hardware, there would have to be a way for that to be a thing. I've heard them hint about
Bacon, whatever happened? Remember when they said we want you to be able to stream your library through the cloud?
Right.
Whatever happened to that? That was like
whatever
years
happened
ago.
Whatever happened to the family
happened?
plan? There's so much stuff that's still out
Yeah.
there. But I've been messing around a lot lately, just downloading games and seeing which ones support my new awesome monitor, this format. And I can't remember the game, but I downloaded one that I haven't played since the early days of the Xbox One, and on PC, and my freaking save file was there on PC, and I
was it
on the Xbox One. I can't remember what the game
was. It Black Flag?
I've downloaded like 20
I
games
wish.
in the last couple of days. Just like, will it work? Nope, delete it. Will it work? I can't remember the game, but it's a game I distinctly remember playing on the Xbox One. Now the game's not still there for me to have for free. It was in Game Pass. Can't remember which one it was, but I was just like, my freaking save is there. A save
That's
I haven't
wild.
touched in 10 years. And the save was just hanging out.
Dude, have you had a 360 save pop up? Like, that's wild. I still my Rainbow Six. My Rainbow Six Vegas 2. It still has my penis camo, my digital save face, my face, you guys, that I used with the Xbox 360 camera.
I forgot
It
that they did
still
that.
has that save
Whoa.
on Rainbow Six Vegas 2.
But yeah, I mean, when I fully made the decision to abandon the console this year, there was a lot of games there that I was like, oh, I haven't played them yet, but they're lost. But they're still in my digital library.
They're still in streaming, Bacon.
So maybe this will happen, and all those games will populate one of these days, and it'll be an awesome time to be alive. Most of them I've already rebought again. So
Bacon, do you have a data cap or no?
I didn't, and then apparently I do, and then I yelled.
You're downloading all these games.
He's back. He's back on it. Down with data caps first.
She downgraded some stuff, and all of a sudden I got a warning about my data cap. I'm like,
yeah, see, remember you said your bill was getting too high.
You didn't get that Valentine's gift like we told you
the
to.
wife to fix it, and I'm not sure if it's fixed, but because my Peacock Plus is no longer the Peacock Plus Premium.
Yeah, you don't get that. Yep, it's gone. It's going to happen to me too. Anyway, shout out to Matt Valdez. Can we get a shirt that says "Respect my digital" on that, or "Don't tread on my digital library"? Guys, that has been the official Xbox podcast. Xbox has promised to bring more games to more players around the world. Reaction. Xbox isn't going third party. Looks like I get to continue using this beautiful Xbox
you
Elite
could have if they
Series
went
2.
third party, but
I cannot wait until they release the rumored Xbox Series 3 Elite with the new haptic feedback. Even though
hopefully it has Hall Effect joysticks.
Hall Effect joysticks on the Elite, correct? And Xbox. You put back buttons on your standard controller. I heard Andy Cortez say this. It's kind of funny too. You win the generation. Yep. Back buttons need to be standard on normal controllers. Just cheap buttons. It doesn't have to be fancy. Just one on each side.
Yep.
It's time, Xbox. You do that on your next console, the generation is yours, guys.
He's absolutely right.
We've almost been going on for an hour. Of course, there's more news that we still haven't gotten to that we're backed up. We're going to skip. There's Vapor controllers out on Xbox. Who cares? N7, there's new. I'm not going to lie, Bacon. I almost downloaded Destiny 2 just to get these
Destiny 2?
stupid armors with the Mass Effect crossover.
Dude, those are sick armors.
And those are sick.
So
Look, I mean, you've got the Titan N7 armor. You've got Liara as your warlock. And then you've got Garrus as the hunter. Come on. Like, how sick.
For those on audio, you got to catch a glimpse of these warlocks sometime. Get on YouTube.
Oh, Jose, you already know what you need to download. Get
Get
that on our soundboard stat. So quickly, if you know what, if you're playing Destiny 2 still, God bless. God bless. I want to love that game.
Oh, they're $20 a pop, Logan said.
Oh boy.
No, I thought they were free. No, Logan, tell me you're lying. I thought this was free.
Dude, it's Sony. Of course it's $20 a pop.
No.
It's a remaster.
He's messing with us. No, he's messing with us. I just deleted the notes. Oh wait, no, I didn't. It's right here. I'm calling you out. We are on Destiny right now. It says, oh my gosh. It just says arriving.
It's gonna say $20 is what it's gonna say.
No.
They're not going to give those away.
They're going to slap remaster all over it and sell it.
Claim the Alliance requisition bundle when it. Oh my gosh! It claimed. Does that mean? Oh no!
Claim with wallet. Claim with the Benjamins.
Moving on. I did want to say that just because we can't go a show without talking about Mass Effect. Let's be real. Also, anybody? Oh wait. Okay, we need to talk about this. I'm not talking about the February update. Very quickly. February Xbox update. I did want to say touch controls are now enabled in remote play. I do remember we mentioned this as it was in beta. It's there. We have touch controls. So it's moving. Those kids, Jose, tell them to stop playing anything else. Tell them to get on Game Pass. Help support Xbox.
Dude, my kid's playing an insane amount of Minecraft. It's ridiculous.
There's
Scarlett's still playing Power World when she can.
Thumbstick calibration tool for Xbox wireless controllers. Bacon, is this for in case your thumbsticks break and you get
drift
new ones?
You got drift. Yeah, you can lessen the dead zones.
Okay. And then the last one was improved filtering and sorting in My Games and Apps. I'm sorry, if you've got a library that big where you can't figure out where the heck the games are, what is your problem?
You're a super fan.
Let's get crazy. I mean, let's be real here. Like I have a bunch of games. I've never had a problem organizing my stupid library. So whatever. Okay, cool. Coming to Game Pass for February. This is the mid-February update. Available now. Anucard Cloud Console PC. Train Sim World 4 Cloud Console PC. February 7th is already out. Madden came out. You can go play as Big Box's Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills, and take it out on the Chiefs. February 8th is already here. Resident Evil 3. Everybody go play Resident Evil 2
so good.
And Resident Evil 3. And I had fun with Resident Evil 3, Jose. I remember everyone dogged this game. I thought it was just a blast because it was just a quick, what are you buying? That's Resident Evil 4. But just a quick, fun game, a continuation, especially right after Resident Evil 2. Perfect game for you to play.
Well, dude, Jill and Carlos, that was an awesome dynamic. Dude, they did great, dude.
A little to the left, Cloud Console and PC is out today. Played Up Cloud Console and PC is out today, and Return to Grace. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, that's a different game. And then also don't forget that MLB The Show is coming. When is that coming out?
Next month. Yeah,
March or April. And then leaving Game Pass. Galactic Civilization, and Opus Echo of Stars. These games are gone today. Sorry, we were late. We should have done this a long time ago. But guys,
also, hey, Logan confirmed $20 pod.
Oh,
that's
my
brutal.
Gosh,
I'd rather just play Mass Effect. You don't even see your armors.
Did you just get? You know what, Logan? They might get me though. I'm not gonna lie, dude.
You're not doing it.
Put
that money into your PC, Dan.
Here's the thing, guys.
You're gonna drop $60 on 3 skins for a game you don't play?
I didn't say all 3, but you know what? Maybe I will because
dude, you already got Warzone skins. At least you play
96,000 Microsoft points, which is enough for that 91,000 for a $100 gift card. So maybe I earned it. Right?
Somebody boo this man.
I was saying boo.
Last point though. And this ties in perfectly, guys. Let's jump into what have we been playing into or watching. And Captain Logan also said, how much do you think the Ghost of Tsushima armor was? I don't even want to know.
I didn't even know there was one.
If it was more than $20, that's insane. What have we been watching or playing? And I wanted to bring this up in the news. Halo, the TV show, is live. By the way, much improved music. I did notice the new title music, and I did notice some of the I guess during the show, banger slinker music. I have to shout that out. They did a much better job with the title card. If for some reason you don't have Paramount Plus and are not watching Halo right now, you can get a free 30-day trial if you're a Game Pass Ultimate member, which is what I did. And I'm watching for free now. I'll only have to pay for 1 month afterwards to get the rest of the show. Highly recommend you take advantage.
You could also wait till it comes out.
True.
And then you can watch it all
exactly. You could wait until it's all out, claim it then, or claim it, whatever. It's probably like at the end of the month, which would give you enough time to watch everything. But you got to be a part of the zeitgeist, Jose.
Mm-hmm.
You got to watch it right now. Isn't there a new one today? Is it Thursdays?
Yeah, it's Thursday. Okay,
so I'm going to have to go watch it right after this. What are our impressions? Bacon, I know you loved it.
I did.
Of Jose, have you watched it?
Oh, absolutely. That's why I haven't gamed as much, because I was like, I gotta watch. I love the show. I'm having a great time.
Spoiler warning. We're not going to talk spoilers here. Let's be real, guys. Let's be respectful to those who may not have seen it. A lot of haters out there like, I'm not going to watch that crap. It sucked. You're watching it. Don't lie to me. You know you want to watch the Master Cheeks back in action. So I'll say this. We all agree. The beginning, fantastic.
First 10 minutes.
But then the rest of that episode, Bacon, very dialogue heavy. Into two, we see more Quan, and I'm like, oh God.
He hates Quan.
I hope Logan's still here. Logan, I remember you were concerned. You were saying this on the podcast. I'm concerned that it's going to be awesome at the beginning and the old bait and switch, and then they're going to switch over and it's going to suck. I kind of got those vibes. I'm not going to lie, you guys, after that first incredible 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh no, Logan was right. That son of a like, I was like, no. But and then Quan, you guys, they brought back Quan. I can't believe it. But thankfully, she hasn't said much. It's not so focused on her. And then the end of the second episode, you're like, okay, it's about to go down.
It's on Reach.
The Covenant is on. It is better. We can all agree it is better. But Jose, I'm going to go to you first because I know Bacon's just frothing at the moment. He's just loving this. So Jose, give me your. Well, actually, you're Mr. Positive, and you probably thought the last season was.
I had a great time with the first season.
Yeah, me too.
For the record, I can admit that it was not amazing, and I can admit that it was like Sci-Fi Channel level graphics sometimes.
They did a great job improving the CGI.
Yeah,
so
but truly, and no spoilers again. I agree with Dan. Like, you can definitely see an uptick in graphics. You can see an uptick in audio and music. You can see an uptick in just cinematography. Like, they have
less
done
visor scenes. You're not seeing the HUD.
Like it is much better in all those respects. What I will say is, it's very clear, and I think part of it, what the issue was with season one, it was just so divisive because it is the story and people that we know, but it's really not. It's kind of this reimagining to a degree, right. and now that we're on season two, we've just all come to accept, like, okay, so there's going to be some different things. There's going to be lots of familiarity, but there's also going to be elements that are just totally not what we know, like Master Cheeks as a great example. I will say, because for people that don't know, like, they did totally change all their writers. Like, literally, it was basically they dumped everyone and kind of restarted minus the actors. And so I do think we're in for a little bit of a change in that. They clearly saw a lot of the criticism that came from the first kind of go around. But I think it's cool, man. I think it's a fun story. It's definitely just nice. Like, I think truly a game like Halo was really hard to adapt to a story because the games are stories of themselves, and like there have been so many of them. And so, like, again, I never played Last of Us before I watched the show, so a lot of people that criticized it was the same as the game. I don't care. It was a great story. I think that I don't know if this would have done the same thing for Halo. Like, if they had literally just replayed CE or the story in 2 or the story in 4 or the story in Infinite just with like a TV show, I don't think it would have gone very well. I think people would have actually been very disappointed. And so it's one of those things we'll kind of wait and see. I still think sometimes I think it's a little overacted, if I'm being super honest with you, with some of the Spartan stuff.
I actually think those Spartans now are some of the best, like their personalities. I agree. Bacon.
It's getting better because of one of the plot things.
What's the big black guy's name?
Vanek.
Vanek. Is that him? Is that his name? Hilarious. Or is that the girl?
But
he's hilarious, by the way.
Without saying anything, they did a great job of explaining that, though, because there was a specific reason why it wasn't like that in season 1 that it is now, and they did it in a very great way because they just basically allude to it for a half second, and then they move forward, and we all accept. So that part I really enjoyed a lot.
Go back and watch the Master Cheek scene if you're wondering.
I mean, I'm hoping for another Master Cheek scene. I'm gonna get Matt Valdez that shirt. Just Pablo's butt right there.
Dude, Pablo ripped out of his mind.
He works out.
Violent speed, momentum. He must be working out with Dr. Disrespect. I do want to say, guys, the highlight for me right away when the first 10 minutes, you get some pistol action, you get the shotgun action, and you get a grapple shot action, you guys. You get grapple shot.
I was like, Dan lost his mind.
I was losing my mind. I was like, oh my gosh, grapple shot right away. 10 out of 10, first 15 minutes. No more spoilers. Logan says he is going to wait until all the episodes.
No way you can wait, bro.
I don't know, dude. Apparently, Pablo, he's teasing that something's going down in episode 4. So I cannot wait. Bacon. Take it away.
Is it an 8-episode season? Do we know?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to know. I don't know. So go ahead.
I like the fact that they really showed that they're super soldiers when they were running towards the calamity that was about to take place. You could
spoilers, Bacon.
I didn't. I just said the calamity. You could tell they are super soldiers. They are bred to do this. That awesome scene,
or even the training mission that they showed that too.
Right. The training. But that scene that was so freaking good. No spoilers. I want to spoil it so freaking bad, but like that is the Master Chief I think of. That, that is who I see.
Can we say the part where he ducks down with this particular gun? Bacon. I was like,
he stuck that knife. He stuck that knife in one of their forearms. I was just like, what?
We'll talk about it after.
We'll do a spoiler cast later. Not right now.
Right. And I did say that in the chat. I like that they have personalities now.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a reason for that, like we were explaining, that that stuff was kind of bred out of the Spartan program. So I, unlike everybody else, liked the first season because I know a TV show that has to be adapted to TV. You can't just run around killing the Covenant. There's no story there. I don't I don't have a problem with him taking his helmet off. He's an actor. They're paying him a lot to voice this character and act as his characters. I've never had a problem with any of that. I am incredibly optimistic where this is going because everybody loves Reach, and the way they ended that second episode was like, I wish I would have waited, so then I wouldn't have to wait a week to see what's happening. So,
we gotta go watch it right now, guys.
I'm crazy excited. I don't have a problem with Quan.
I do.
And she's kind of forgettable, but it's Quan. It's Quan. So
it's Quan.
I am super, 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 super excited for this thing. This whole thing with Halsey that's going on. You're just like, what the?
Yeah,
the new guy, and with Soren, like they're doing a good job of addressing the story.
Right? And they didn't.
Still don't like Soren either.
You can tell that there's an improvement in the writing, and
I agree.
Maybe more Halo-ish fans are at the helm, or maybe 343 has some more input or whatever. So super, super excited. Don't want to get too high, but I just feel this season's going to be dope.
I have to agree, Bacon. We got to give credit where credit's due. So far from what we've seen, this is a much improved show so far. Is it the best? Is it Last of Us? No. Do I think it will ever be The Last of Us? No. But I think
pilot season.
I think there's definite growth here, and I'm excited to see where this goes. And you're right. The more I'm thinking about some of these scenes, awesome. But some of it a little boring. But the Halsey stuff, you're right, Bacon. I forgot about that. I'm like, what is going on with this?
Right.
I'm interested.
I think she's going to be important.
Has your aunt been watching, Dan? I wanted to ask you that.
Oh, I need to ask my Tia.
Yeah, your Tia.
My wife heard Cortana and she looks over and she goes, is that the Cortana from your podcast? And I'm like, oh God, you noob. Yes, that's Cortana.
Yes, absolutely.
We'll talk about that off there. So does anyone want to talk about anything they've been playing? I've been playing Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning. I'm loving it. It's old school Fable meets Zelda. I am getting to a point, Bacon, right, where I'm seeing it's kind of repetitive. It's kind of like a almost like a Skyrim light, like I'm in a faction, and it is a lot of similar.
I didn't like the upgrade
caves
system and stuff like that.
But I do really appreciate the combat, and I just want to say really quickly, I think that's what Elder Scrolls has to do. They need to commit to going full third person only and modifying their combat. Don't do the first person thing that they've always been doing. Go third person only. You got to add in some sort of parry, and you got to add in a roll. They need to evolve their combat system. If the Elder Scrolls 6 doesn't evolve their combat, and it's the exact same War of Skyrim, people, I don't think people are going to take it.
They expect more now after Baldur's Gate.
Exactly. I really think that that would help, is just commit to third person and evolve their combat, because that's what's keeping me engaged with Kingdoms of Amalur is I'm having a blast with the combat. It is simple, but it's fun and it's diverse. So and all it has, it really just has a roll and a parry that's not like a Souls game where it's like impossible to always get that down, or it takes hundreds of hours of practice. Like it's manageable. So I think if Skyrim could take things from other games, it would be something like that. So anybody else playing anything cool?
Yeah, I got some stuff.
I'll go first real quick. I've just been playing a little more Final Fantasy 7. Super awesome game. There's times when I get bogged down in the city doing side missions where I'm just like, oh, good. Just give me
I've heard that just go on. Like some of those are
I should
like just don't spend the time. It's not worth it.
But I've been playing Go Mecha Ball on Game Pass, twin stick shooter. You roll around in this ball.
Yeah, I've seen you on that.
I think I got like 12 hours into it. I've beaten it once to get all the achievements. I got to beat it on virtual other skill levels, which I'll probably just abandon. And then the game I actually have on right now is Brotato. It's a cheap knockoff of Vampire Survivor.
What's the chance of saying?
But it's quick. The achievos are stupid. 2-point achievements, 3-point achievements, just like
worst. But
I'm 400 and something points away from crossing 70,000 gamer score. So coming up on a bit of a milestone, but I'm gonna let Chapo talk about what he's been playing.
So I played a couple things because the good news is I don't even know if I said this last time I was thinking my PC is finally up and running. So I've been able to it's running great. I tested it on my my actual OLED, my 65-inch OLED, not because I'm actually going to play it there, but I just wanted to see how it would push at 4K, and it was real nice and crispy, which was super awesome. But I brought it back to my setup here, and this isn't really a game thing, but I got some big things incoming for the setup. I'm real excited for the very near future. So stay tuned to that if you watch the YouTube channel. But games I've been playing, I tried Turnip Boy Robs Bank, super fun. Definitely. I liked Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion. That was also an awesome game. This one's a little bit different because it is also a twin stick shooter, but it's super silly and it's kind of a roguelite actually that I didn't anticipate, but it's awesome.
Wait, the Turnip Boy. So it's not the same kind of gameplay as the other one, right? It's
different. It's a totally different gameplay, and it's
maybe
a roguelite.
I'll have to check this one out because I remember you were not so high on.
It was real simple, the other one, and it was fine because it was a quick story. It was like a 3-hour.
Would you recommend this one over the last one?
So far, I think so. Okay. It's something I could play like a couple of rounds and then be done for a while. So I actually think I'm going to download it on my Ally because I'm still taking my daughters to gymnastics. It would be a perfect thing to get a couple of rounds in there. But the other thing I've been doing with my Ally is I downloaded EMU deck, and shout out to Logan about the emulation stuff. I am certainly that guy that probably the industry doesn't love, but I've been playing Donkey Kong Country from the SNES. I've been playing Super Mario World from the SNES. I have been reliving my childhood on my Ally, and it works so freaking good on EMU deck. It was a little bit of a challenge to get it downloaded and running right, but man, now that it's running, super crispy. So I like that a lot. And then the other thing I bought on Steam, I've been going on a little bit of a shopping spree. I bought Final Fantasy VII Remake. Which is my first PlayStation game on the PC. It's the first PlayStation game I played since Spider-Man got a couple of years ago. And I was telling Bacon before the show, I admittedly am a little ashamed because I I over the last couple of years and getting into the podcast and Xbox and stuff, I definitely felt a little like, oh, I don't need to play a Final Fantasy VII remake. Oh, it's probably not as good as the original. Like all these people are just a bunch of noobs. And honestly, man, that was dumb. I shouldn't have been doing that. And now that I'm playing it on this and it looks beautiful, I'm playing at 60 frames per second and just amazing 4K quality without any issues. It is a fun game. It's gorgeous, and I'm reliving so much of the stuff that I played as a kid. Like I was telling Bacon, I bought the original 3-disc set for PlayStation, and I had like the guidebook. And I remember talking to my friends for hours about this game. I remember Shay Robinson literally he maxed out the timer in the game timer, like it was literally 9999999, and it's awesome, man. And I'll be honest with you, as a kid, I don't think I fully understood the whole story.
Oh yeah,
I really don't.
It's
and so
yeah, me neither.
It's really nice to like actually understand that now as an adult, which I'm really enjoying. So absolutely loving that. The only other things I'll mention, we watch Abbott Elementary. It's a great show, especially if you're in education or even if you're not, but you just want to
you always bring it up.
Teacher. It's a great show. They're doing the new season right now. And then Wonka got released on digital, and we bought that for the family. It's a great movie, man. Like it is really a great movie. My kids love it. My wife loves it. It's got a good soundtrack. Good old Timothy Chalamet. He did a great job. So it's been great, man. I've got a lot of stuff on the horizon with gaming. Things are finally calming down a little bit at work, so I'm excited to get into some gaming. And I need to get the one thing I want to do this weekend is I want to get my Warzone working well with my audio. And so I tried to do it that other weekend, and it was thanks to Deja and Bacon and Dan, it was not going super well, but we got it kind of working at the ends. But I'm excited to get that running this weekend. And shout out to Logan, who spent $80 for an SNES Mini.
Hey,
chat.
Logan, I also have an SNES Mini, and I was gonna say, Jose, you could also be playing Donkey Kong and stuff on your Switch. So what's up with that, Jose?
Yeah, but I can download any game that I want to, like anything,
yes,
and not to get on like the censor side here, but like with ME-Deck, like all the consoles, I could download Dreamcast games, I could download Sega games, and
there are Sega games on Nintendo Switch Online.
All of the ones you want, and I could do Switch games on my Ally with this. I'm not probably going to go that far, but I could.
I do want to say one more thing we watched, guys, which was hilarious. I watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 1990 movie, with my kids. I finally bit the bullet and watched it. It's pretty hilarious because they were a little terrified of the Shredder.
Leonardo.
That scary music. I was like, okay, this is a little scary for them. And they would like hide behind the couch and stuff, but they loved it. Grayson was cracking up the whole time. Every time he saw those dang turtles being,
you got to introduce them to the sequel, bud, with Kino.
We're watching the sequel right now. Don't you worry about it. They are loving it. They just Toka and Razor freaked out. Like, what the heck are scared out of their minds? But then they're like, oh, they're babies. They're cute. Oh, it's silly. So we're having a great time watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the original 1990s trilogy.
Hey, while you have Paramount Plus, go watch the new Ninja Turtle movie. It's on there too. It's so good.
Is it good for kids? Is it?
Oh yeah.
Good?
Oh, okay. Absolutely. Mutant Mayhem, so good, dude.
Movie night tomorrow. We'll skip Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. Nobody needs to see that one because that's a train wreck. And we'll go straight to the Paramount movie, guys. Let's close the show like we always do with the best food we had this week. Bacon, did you have anything good this week?
I don't believe I did, actually. Nothing to report, gentlemen.
Well, I got bacon covered, Jose. Please add one pizza to the list. Allie, after our incredible dinner she made like some sort of steak thing. I don't know what to call it. Anyway, she was like, I need the garlic knot pizza, you guys. It is so good, you guys.
So it is Chelsea. That's where it's at.
It's just so good. And the garlic knots, they're New York style thin crust pizza. It's just, Matt, if you were here, you might accept this pizza as pizza. Yeah. Okay, it was phenomenal. But I've been eating, and I've been eating good. One of the other things I wanted to shout out was the homemade steak quesarito I made from my tia. She made some steak fajitas. I brought it home, added my own queso to it, added some salsa to it, had my own delicious. Why go to Taco Bell, you guys? Taco Bell sucks. I've been there and forever. And I love Taco Bell in high school and college. I couldn't tell. It's literally been maybe we're approaching 2 years where I've last been to a Taco Bell. I cannot remember.
Expensive now.
Exactly. There's no value. They took away all the good items. Why do I need to go to Taco Bell? Oh, wait, I don't. But the best food I had this week, you guys, Allie, made my favorite. She made the ham sliders and sweet potato fries. The ham sliders, you get the ham, you get the Swiss, you get the King's Hawaiian rolls. So the special mayo mustard thing that whatever it is that she puts together, incredible bacon. I'll have you guys over for dinner. I'll have her make that for you. But also on the horrible Sunday, which for once, I kid you not, didn't watch any of the Super Bowl. I sent you that picture. Grayson randomly asked to go shoot hoops with me. Had a blast playing with him. It was like a dream moment for me playing with my son at the gym, even though he can barely get the ball up.
He dunked on his son.
I literally got a bounce pass from Grayson, dunked it, posted it on social media. But Allie made these meatballs and she experimented. She said it was this grape jelly barbecue sauce with potatoes. How do you say that, Jose? Potatoes.
Au gratin.
Au gratin. Oh, you guys, shout out to my wife, Allie Walensik, for making the best food I had this week. Jose, what did you have?
So it's because it's been a couple weeks. I was trying to think back to the couple weeks of what to add to the ticker. And
guys, I get interrupt. Breaking news right now. Making their first official Nerd Chat debut. Please welcome Mr. NIKO and Kelapaijian to the show. Guys, you are live on the Nerd Chat right now.
That's amazing. I love that show.
NIKO, I forgot to tell you, we did shout you out on the show about your generous Christmas card gift that you sent to the Nerd Chat email. A little confused why you sent it to the Nerd Chat, but thank you for sending us your Christmas card a month late.
I'll take it.
Oh, yes. It's the best time to send it.
And Snelling, while you're on air, because this is going to be the only time you're welcome on the show, what would you like to say to everybody?
I think Miso Pony should join the show, and thank you for having me.
All right, guys, thank you. That was been NIKO, aka NIKO Roo, and Kelapaijian, aka Snellavad, who was on the show for the first time. Guys, while I have you here, I just want to update you on our food ticker. As of February 15th, 2024, Jose, we have eaten... we have 189 subscribers on YouTube. We have eaten 96 Popeyes spicy or regular chicken sandwiches. We have also eaten 66 breakfast burritos. About 65 of those have been me. We've eaten 13 Chipotle burritos and 18 Big Macs or quarter pounder with cheeses, and also 53 fast food pizzas eaten. Thanks for coming on the show, boys. We'll talk to you later.
For having us. Have a good day.
All right. See you online.
So a lot of some of those were my updated thing. Definitely had to make a trip out.
The Popeyes.
Yeah, man. Went and got that at the mall a couple weekends ago, which was great. Definitely added a couple of pizzas. The other thing is, in contrast to Dan, I have gone to Taco Bell a couple times in the last weeks to try some of their new menu items because people have, like my students and stuff, were raving about them. There's a new taco that costs the same as a regular taco, but it includes extra things like a tortilla on the outside with cheese in between and strips, like the strips on top, the same price as a regular taco. Why would you get a regular taco? And it was solid, man. The prices are better because this is now the new value menu thing. There are definitely some weird things on there that I'm like, I just want some of the old stuff back there, but it's been fine. The other thing I just want to shout out, it was my wife's birthday last weekend, and so for one of the
shout out to Victoria.
Yeah, Victoria. And so we went to the Pint Room, which is one of our favorite kind of bars nearby, and had a couple of really awesome beers and cheese curds, which were just like, man, bar cheese curds. Fantastic, but as we played some board games, super delicious, dude. So been eating great for sure. And yeah, man, that's what we've been up to. And in the chat, we got a couple contributions as well. B said Parmesan garlic shrimp baby back ribs and bacon mac and cheese. That sounds delightful.
Man.
And Matt Valdez, just a double Big Mac for me. That's what that new one right there.
Matt, I'm glad you said that. I got to try one of those because I remember, shout out to Goose, one of the, not ZenkaiGoose, the original Goose from the Nerd Chat.
Billy.
He told me a hack. He's like, Dan, you need to go to McDonald's and get a Big Mac, but ask for double patties. And remember, boys, I tried to do that. No, he said to do quarter pounder patties. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And they messed it all up. They gave me like 3. It wasn't the same, but I need to try the double Big Mac because I love Big Macs. I love quarter pounders of cheeses. So shout out to Matt Valdez and B for their best food they had this. It's what the standard Big Mac should be. Exactly. Matt, try that though. Matt, get back to us. Go back there. Say, actually, can you do a quarter pounder for the patties? 2 quarter pounder patties, one on the top, one with the 3 pieces of bread, and one on the bottom. Make sure they get it right because I messed it up when I did it. Report back to me if that solves your problem. Gentlemen, this has been the Nerd Chat episode 146, a conversation with Xbox leadership. I'm glad to report that we are the Nerd Chat and Xbox podcast. And remember, tune in for the big announcement tomorrow on yet another name change, possibly going down on Platform X tomorrow around noon Mountain Standard Time. My name is Daddy Diwali. You can follow me at Daddy Diwali across all social media. You can follow the show at the Nerd Chat podcast, a PC gaming podcast.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
On multiple social media sites. Chipotle Bear, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter or X at Chipotle_Bear, Instagram at Chipotle Bear, online at Chipotle Bear. And again, guys, thanks for joining us. It's great to be back on here. If it's your first time listening, thanks for joining us. Thumbs up and smash that like. We appreciate it. Definitely trying to work on our subs a little bit more this year, and some content with some social media is probably what we need to do. But at the end of the day, guys, we just like getting together and talking with great people like Matt and B and Deja and, of course, Captain Logan. So thank you guys for joining us. And as always, every Thursday night is where you can find us, guys.
And PC Master Race #1 fan, X Bacon Gaming. Where can people find you?
You can find me at X Bacon Gaming across all your socials and gaming platforms. I want to thank everybody for chit-chatting up in the chat tonight. Sorry for the late start. Might have to change our nights to Wednesday nights because
that's basketball.
Yeah.
Thursday nights are the nights when Chipo's High School does everything.
What happened now? Monday, Wednesdays.
I know.
I tried to, but winter season's been rough. I'm sorry. It's over though. It's like winter season. I'm done with coverage, which is good.
As always, you loyal Xbox fans. See you online.
See you online.
See you online.
See you online.
Oh, you foolish, foolish boys. This is how it all starts. I've seen it all before. I was there. Yeah, it was called the 80s. Ford was president, Nixon was in the White House, and FDR was running this country into the ground. I was bumming in a hole-in-the-wall town in what is now called Utah. Some fella from Colorado shows up, starts making so-called improvements, right? Before we knew what hit us, the streets are running with latte. No. Yep, it got so bad that a fella that liked to, smoke a little grass or drink a little ripple, crow like a rooster, maybe challenge the mayor's son to a gentleman's duel is uncouth against God. More like bad for real estate values. Stumpy had to go.
The Nerd Chat is an Xbox podcast celebrating all things gaming, food, and the good old days. You can follow the show at The Nerd Chat across all social media. The show was created by Daniel Wolenzik, and you can follow him at Daddy Diwali. The lead producer and co-host is Jose Martinez, and you can follow him at Chipotle_Bear. And former intern, recently promoted co-host Jason Jarrett can be found at X Bacon Gaming. If you'd like to find out more about the show, please visit nerdchatmedia.com. And as always, see you online.